WMDX 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. The John and Gordy Extravaganza, broadcasting live from State Street in Madison, Wisconsin. And a good morning to you. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning. Yesterday, wow, what an afternoon.
Yeah, what an afternoon.
Wow. Oh, yeah, did you have a good one? Or
it was good.
What the hell happened to you?
I was at the dentist. It was really fun. Yeah, it's going to be.
It's too bad, man.
It's going to be, well,
it's got to happen.
There's good things and there's things that I need to have worked. Yeah, So, thanks for reminding me. It's gorgeous. Look at the sunshine out there this morning.
Beautiful.
It's just fantastic. And
it's got a lot on your mind now. You got to take care of a cracked tooth, the filling, whatever. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I'm going to go back to the dentist and get some work done. So there's a plan.
Wow.
There's a plan. But, I don't like the plan, but I may get a second opinion. I don't know. Chris Kammer, if you're listening, answer your messages.
Well, here's the thing. With Chris, he doesn't use drills.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
A chemical substance of some sort that neutralizes everything and solidifies everything. You don't even need to have fillings anymore.
Yeah, it's a secret chemical substance that he developed.
It's magical.
He's not sharing it with anybody. Only he knows what's going into it. Yeah, but I'm going to reach out to him and see what the deal is.
Yes, you can call him the Tooth Fairy. Sprinkle his magic dust and snort.
Let's check out the weather for today.
Why don't we?
Hey boys, let's get out the balls, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Take out
get
your
those
balls.
Sweaty balls, those lottery balls. That's what they are. That's what they are.
That's right.
First number is 7. Looking at the today high temperature, second ball is 4. 74. That's beautiful.
That's just fantastic.
It's great. It's perfect
that
weather
seems
today.
Cool, actually.
It is a little chilly this morning. It's 59 degrees currently, so it's going to be good today. Yeah, a little bit later on, we'll check in with Brittany Merlot.
Yeah.
More forecast details.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I hope we get better news for the weekend coming up.
Yeah, we're talking some rain on Friday night, but other than that, I think it might be okay.
We're always talking rain.
We're always looking toward the weekend. You notice the weather people. That's why they invented the 7-day or the 10-day forecast. So you have the weekend, and there's some hope. At the end of the light at the end of the tunnel.
Is there?
Yeah.
All right.
Really.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, tonight's the big debate night.
Oh, I know.
Good weather for that tonight in Atlanta.
Now, I was thinking, should we go to the debate? I know that Todd Alba is out there, right?
Yeah.
And he'll be moderating along with, who is he moderating with?
At the Barrymore Theater, are you talking about? I don't know. I have not heard.
I don't think he's going to be out there. He and I believe Terry Bell are going to be.
Okay, here. They're going to be here?
Yes, they're going to be doing stuff on the air before and afterward.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have the debate live on the Civic Media Network.
It would be hard to imagine Crute giving up any airtime to anyone else here at the station.
Well, come on now. They're going to be at the Barrymore. They're going to be there. I believe Crute and
Don will be there. I believe.
Yeah.
The thing
I don't have any information.
Didn't a memo go out saying that we're encouraged to join in the festivities somehow?
Possibly.
I don't know if that went out internally. I saw something out on Madison Minutes actually about it.
Well, no, that's not where Madison Minutes is telling us, the announcing staff, to participate. That would be a turn. But you saw it on Madison Minutes?
I did see it
the
there.
Current one?
Yeah, the Devil's Advocates are sponsoring it at the Barrymore Theater.
All right, excellent.
I think Maggie Dawn is there too, right?
Yes, Maggie Dawn will be there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, there's
and it's free.
moderation.
It's free because it's a public broadcast.
Yeah.
It's on ABC.
They're asking for donations.
Yeah.
So help pay for some of the costs there.
Right. So that's happening.
It's a great thing that Barrymore would do. The Barrymore Theater would do something like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a presidential debate watch party. That's what it, and of course it all starts at 7:00 tonight.
If Trump shows up.
What do you mean if he shows up?
Trump could do anything at this point.
Really? You think he's just not going to show up?
It's a power play if he decided not to show up.
Yeah.
He's always doing that.
What would they do if he didn't show up? Would they continue and just have a one?
Just ask Biden
Just
the question.
Biden? Yeah, that'll be it.
That sounds actually kind of good.
Kind of see that.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah, well, anything can happen, I guess so.
I mean, we're not expecting any kind of policy at all from Trump.
Right.
What is he going to say? He's going to tell us a story about batteries and sharks again? Probably.
I hope he does.
Embellish it.
That'd be great.
Give us a different point of view. It's in his genes. He had an uncle at MIT, so obviously
He's smart.
Hereditary brilliance continued through that genetic line.
Yeah.
My God.
Okay. Well, everybody will be tuning in. I think a lot of people.
Truly,
I think the ratings will be really.
I think Felonious Trump is probably one of the dumbest people ever that could ever have run for president in this country. That's what I think.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think. It's my opinion. It doesn't necessarily reflect the opinion of this radio station or its staff or friends and uncles.
Right. Yeah. Where's our disclaimer? When we need it.
Yeah.
Hey, let's check out the National Day calendar. What do you say?
Yeah,
you ready for this?
No, I'm not. I'm never ready for this.
Is it or is it not one of these days?
I see popsicles in there. I'm not.
Don't peek. You're not supposed to know this stuff. Okay.
Well, it's a colorful picture. So
is it National Sunglasses Day or not? Is it National Onion Day? How about National Ice Cream Cake Day? Is it that? Is it National Tater Tot Day? How about National Handshake Day, National Orange Blossom Day, National Bomb Pop Day. What is a bomb pop? Oh, that's like a popsicle.
Oh.
And so let's see. Those are our days. Any guesses there, John?
I don't think it's Onion Day.
Well, you'd be wrong because it is National Onion Day. So there you go. Sam, do you have a guess?
I don't remember reading Bomb Pop Day. I don't know what that is.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, that's
yes,
my
or
guess.
no? Okay, that would be wrong.
What?
You're
Really?
wrong. You do not get a shiny new dime. No, it's not National Tater Tot Day.
No, right.
I love tater tots.
You know what?
If they're made correctly, I love tater tots.
I think the National
I
Day
do.
calendar should call you up and come up with some extra days because you're coming up with some doozies. I mean, yeah, Tater Tot Day would be fantastic. There's so many restaurants.
People don't serve tater tots enough.
Well, restaurants are adapting their menus now to include tater tots as some extravagant ingredient.
It's for all the people who were longing for their school lunches when they were kids.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, think of it. They grow the tater tots out in the soil. They have to individually pluck them out of the earth.
If you
they have
get
to
them
dust
long
them.
enough, you can use the dirt as kind of a breading.
I guess you could. But, each individual tater tot, it takes a long time to grow
It
all those
does.
tater
It does.
tots.
Yeah. Especially to
I
take
don't
the
know if you do
stems
that.
off. You don't want to.
That's a laborious process. Let's check out National Sunglasses Day. A whole day devoted to. You have. I don't know if I've ever seen you wearing sunglasses.
I'm a sunglass guy.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wore wraparound sunglasses for at least maybe 20 or 30 years. And I only did that because I was influenced by Question Mark of Question Mark and the Mysterians.
Oh, sure.
He wore sunglasses, wraparounds, and he was never seen without them. And I thought, that sounds like a damn good idea. Why? I don't know.
But another
I picked
guy,
up on it.
another rock star who always wears sunglasses, the guy from Steppenwolf, John Kay.
John Kay.
Always had sunglasses.
Yeah.
That was his.
He
That was one of his
reminded me
things.
of
Question Mark and
Question
Mysterious.
Mark.
Yeah. National Sunglasses Day happens every year on June 27th as a day to inform people about the dangers of UV exposure.
Yes.
Wearing sunglasses is more than just a fashion statement, John. Wearing sunglasses is also about protecting your eyes from harmful elements. The history of sunglasses can be traced back to the Inuit tribes of the Arctic region.
Really?
In order to maintain vision from the glare of the snow and the water reflections, the Inuits, is that how you pronounce that?
Something like that, yeah.
Created an eye covering with slits in the front of the pupils to control the exposure to brightness. Made from bone or wood, the Inuit eye coverings were the inspiration for contemporary goggles.
Wow.
Oh, there you
Pretty
go.
cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Enjoy your sunglasses today. You'll need them. And let's go on to National Onion Day. Let's salute the onion.
No,
not the newspaper. That's business.
That I would salute.
They still have a
They
website,
have
I think.
online, yeah.
Through all the years and sometimes tears, National Onion Day on June 27th recognizes the flavor and aroma of the bulb of the allium family. It brings to numerous recipes, okay? Whether we choose a sweet, white, red, or ever favorite yellow onion, we count on the onion to enhance the flavor of savory recipes. Are you an onion fan?
I am not.
You don't like onions?
Well, no.
What's the matter with you? Come on.
It's very inconsiderate to have an onion and then expect to talk to somebody close or make out or anything like that. Why would you have an onion?
What about fried onions,
Onions
or
are
something, John?
inconvenient.
Fried onions.
I was going to say caramelized onions,
Okay.
fried onions are the best way to go.
You're on.
And I can handle that. Onion rings are excellent. Who doesn't like an
Good
onion ring?
rings.
I
man.
like say in my head that I love onion rings, and then
Yeah.
I like order them at a restaurant, and they're always underwhelming. They never hit like I want them to.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they overdone, overcooked, or
I don't know.
undercooked? Or
Maybe
I don't like
just-
them undercooked. I like them nice and crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Well, you have to bite really hard into them in order to sever the onion instead of pulling the whole damn thing out of the bread.
That's the problem.
That's true.
Yeah, it's got to be just right.
I like the shredded onion rings.
Yeah?
Those are my favorite. Those are the kind they put on top of burgers.
Okay. It's also National Ice Cream Cake Day. Ice cream cake. Ice cream cake day.
You know what? That's the best kind of cake ever.
I think that's a Dairy
It really
Queen
is.
thing. Let's see. Who came up with this? National Ice Cream Day brings two celebrated favorites together under one delicious treat: the cake and the ice cream. Okay.
So they're using ice cream as the icing. Is that and the filling? Is that right?
Sure.
Where's your
I
page
moved
on
on.
this?
What?
You moved on already.
We're trying to move it along here, pal.
I know.
Come on. All right, we've got more of the National Day calendar and look at today's history books.
Can't wait.
It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show for Thursday.
Now,
Wow.
if that is an Austin Powers like, I don't know what is.
It is.
It's called 60s a go-go.
Oh,
That makes sense.
I love that. I think I lost a gasket.
In your
Bottle?
Yeah,
you
this
didn't
thing.
swallow it, did you?
Well, no. This is the thing. All the way here,
Yeah.
I am desperately trying to mop up the spilled coffee in
Yeah.
the passenger side
Yeah.
seat.
My coffee spills almost every day in the car. The one thing they misdesigned in the Subaru is the coffee cup holder.
Yeah.
There's no separated thing to keep the cup from like falling over.
Mm.
At least
So I always have to remember to put a water bottle there or something.
God.
What's that, Sam?
At least travel mugs are a thing now. Like my dad, his car was covered in coffee all the time growing up because he just brought like a regular mug in the car with him every day. 10 seconds.
All right.
I can't believe this.
Do you want to go back to National Ice Cream Cake Day or can we move on?
Well,
What?
I
What else
kind
did you-
of wanted to know what are the
WMDX, John and Gordy family show. Here's the thing.
I kind of breezed past it. You didn't like that. All
Well,
right,
I'm
come back to
curious
it.
about it. Are they replacing the filling,
Yeah.
the frosting of the cake with ice cream, or are they getting rid of the cakey part and just making solid ice cream cakes?
Well,
Haven't you ever had an ice cream cake, John?
I'm not trying to specify here. I'm trying to get specific. Please fill me in.
he sounds so condescending. Sam. It's great.
That's true.
Okay, I'll fill you in. Ice cream cake makers build these treats out of any flavor of ice cream
Right.
into the shape of a cake.
Oh.
And then they can add many different ingredients too. Whether you like cookie crumbs or sponge cake or fudge or fruit or caramel between the layers, they make delicious things happen. Then they take it a step further with the decorating. They begin by adding frosting, whipped cream, icing. Just like baked cakes, ice cream cakes are decorated to fit any theme or celebration. Did that answer any of your questions?
No, really.
All right, then I'll
you can add
continue.
anything to the ice cream, and that includes the cake?
Sure. Although the origin of the ice cream cake, the origin of the ice cream cake, John, remains somewhat of a mystery.
Wow. I'm glad we got this far down into the article.
There's no doubting the popular dessert combines two classics. No doubt about that, right? Between the classic summer ice cream treat ice cream and the honored celebratory cake.
Yeah.
What? The ice cream cake becomes one of the culinary history's favorite combinations.
That really entered a lot of that mystery.
Well, what do you need to know? What is the question?
The question is it used in place of the icing on a cake?
No.
Or is it replacing the cakey part of the cake?
I don't think it would be replacing the icing or the frosting because ice cream is, well, maybe ice cream isn't a whole lot heavier than frosting, but I feel like it would like squish the cake.
No, it actually doesn't. I mean, you can buy, in fact, we make a point of buying cake that has ice cream layered into the cake. That's what we buy. We buy
so
that
you knew
kind of
the
cake.
answer all along.
No, I'm trying to find out if this day is celebrating that.
You know what?
Here, man.
I'm gonna connect you with the National Day Calendar people, and you guys can sort this out. Okay? We got to move on.
All right.
It's National Handshake Day. So shake your hands. Okay.
There
Each
you go.
year during the last Thursday of June, people across the nation observe National Handshake Day.
After COVID, that's what they want to do. Handshake day.
You're right. Of all the various forms of greeting, the handshake is perhaps one of the most ancient and most honorable.
Yes, it's old. We don't do that anymore.
Well, the origin of the handshake is hard to pinpoint, as it's a nonverbal mode of communication.
Not another mystery.
It is a mystery. It may have been existing before written records. Theories suggest it was a way for medieval knights, Roman soldiers, and other weapon-carrying men to check for hidden daggers by grasping each other's forearms in greeting.
Well, that's a different kind of handshake.
Yeah, it is.
It's an arm shake.
Archaeologists' ruins in ancient Greece support this theory.
Okay.
An even older record in Egypt suggests the handshake held a different sort of power, the power of giving. According to Babylonian customs, kings would grasp the hand of the statue of the god Marduk before taking the throne. Marduk. All hail Marduk. The statue of Marduk. Shake the statue's hand.
Wasn't there a movie, Mordok?
Mordok.
Was there
You're making me think of Marmaduke. About
Yeah, I know.
the
That's what I was thinking.
Great
Marduk.
dog.
Marduk or something like that. It's
Marduk.
It was the most surreal movie of all. Sean Connery's in this debacle, and this giant floating head in the sky would give them commands.
Well, listen to this.
And people would jump out of the face's mouth, I guess, to their suicide.
Wow.
What in the world are you talking about, John?
Mordok.
Okay, this is
This is a
Marduk.
movie?
Yes. See if you can find Mordok.
Okay. First, before a king would take the throne, he had to shake the statue's hand. And then this act was repeatedly an annual thing during the festival of Zagmuk. Zagmuk.
Wow,
This is all made up. This is not.
This is like a comic book page.
Zagmuk. All right. So that's where the handshake came from.
Okay.
All right. So everybody shake everybody's hands today. Okay.
No, fist
You're
bump
not doing
or
it.
elbow.
A fist bump. That's the way to
whatever
go.
it is.
That's the way to go. Any of these other days we need to check out. Oh, bomb pop day. Okay, we talked about that.
All right.
You know what a bomb pop is?
No, we actually didn't talk about
I
that.
didn't see this one. It didn't show up on the page for me.
Okay. It's it looks like
You gotta
this.
show me your laptop.
that?
Okay, I see it. Yeah.
It's like a popsicle.
It's like the red, white, and blue popsicle.
Yes,
That's what it
That's
is.
what it is.
Yeah.
So it's National Bomb Pop Day. So, enjoy your bomb pops. Okay? That's it for the National Day calendar. I'm not doing any more.
You're never going to do it again?
Well,
That might be a promise that we'd want you to keep.
Okay.
You have a love-hate relationship with the National Day calendar, don't you, John?
Well, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's
not.
confusing. Sometimes it doesn't
Come
tell
on.
you
Are you
what you
searching
want
for
to
this
know.
movie right now?
I am.
We learned about Zagmuck.
Is
Come
it called
on.
Highlander, or am I like
No,
bad at Googling?
I'm looking at his list of movies.
Oh,
This
I
might
see.
be something they'll ban from everyone. If you see any
Like,
of
how
this,
old of a movie is this?
he appears almost naked in this movie. He's running around with just a loincloth.
Who's this?
Sean Connery.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
Yeah?
Here it is. Zardoz.
Zardoz?
Yes. Zardoz. This is the most surreal. If you're ever going to do anything like Trip, this would be the movie for
Hallucinogens?
This would be a bad
Are you-
trip.
This would be a bad trip. Did you see? Do you have it up there?
I see some pictures from
Do you
it.
see the head?
Good-
The floating head in the
Good
sky.
God, that's
That is-
wild.
I know.
Oh boy.
Oh.
So you're recommending that movie?
Yes, I am recommending everybody see this thing. It's insane.
I keep recommending you guys got to watch Winnebago Man. Okay,
We are
Winnebago
definitely
Man.
going to watch that.
You got to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, just look it up on YouTube.
All right.
Winnebago Man. You won't believe it. It'll blow your mind.
It sounds like
Okay.
a really good idea.
You
it comes
saw
out
the
of
trailer.
California Man, and now Winnebago Man is an older movie, right?
It is. It's
Yeah.
about a guy that sells
Winnebagos, and he does everything he can. And it's a real movie. It's a documentary.
He made commercials out in California for years back in the 60s, and they show all the bloopers of these commercials, and
Yeah.
he gets so angry and just it's a lot of obscenities
Yeah.
in there, but he's quite a character. Anyway, Winnebago Man, I highly recommend it. Okay, do we have time for the history books yet?
We can get started.
All right. What do you say?
Let's see. Let's open up the book.
Okay.
Lots of stuff.
We got to go.
John,
Yeah.
did you ever watch Captain Video and his Video Rangers when you were a
Yes.
kid?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Video.
The first television sci-fi series.
Yeah, it was really
debuted
cool.
today in 1949.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really, really cool. It was
I
on
don't
for a number
remember
of years.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Captain Video and the Video
Yeah. Well, then
Video
they had,
Rangers.
Rangers. Okay.
Yeah, what was it about? Tell us in 30
It was
seconds.
about 28 minutes.
it was
long.
about being in space. That's all. I mean,
Okay.
just it was. Anytime you could put somebody in a spaceship.
Yeah.
The kids were there.
Yeah, they loved
They
it.
wanted to be in that spaceship with them, and that was the fun of watching those shows.
All right. Okay, we'll get more of the history of today, June 27th. Oh, stand by. There's so much more coming up on the John and Gordy Show on WMDX.
Yeah. He blew it. He was waiting to blow his nose to make sure he wasn't on the air.
And for everybody on Facebook, I apologize.
Okay. Marduk was Zagmuck.
Zardoz.
Zardoz.
Do you remember
Oh, this was-
Zardoz at all?
I don't remember that at all.
It says here a 23rd century, a savage trained only to kill finds ways in the community. Of bored immortals. That alone preserves humanity's achievements. Zardoz is an unseen god who speaks through an idol. A large stone statue of a head leads a barbaric race called the Brutals, who live a harsh existence in the outlands. Zardoz tells the Brutals that once they die, they will be transported to the vortex, where they will live happily as immortals. That sounds so bad. God. Zardoz. But they have a clip of the head talking, and it is classic. This is classic stuff.
Yeah.
It talks, yeah.
Okay. All right. What do we got after history here? What do we got coming up? No Juice Joe Bill.
The last Madison minutes I have is from Monday.
Yeah. Monday.
Wait a minute.
What's going on?
Nah, I see it. I see it. I got it. I got Madison minutes today.
Okay, join the Devil's Advocates and the Progressive for a free presidential debate. I don't know who he's supposed to. Of course, they didn't put Civic Media's logo on here at all. Interesting. The debate doesn't actually start till 8.
On Pat and Air yesterday, they were talking about good drinking games to do during the debate.
Oh
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, right?
They're gonna have a bar open at the theater.
right. Yeah. Should we go? It's 8
I might
o'clock.
go.
I'm not going out.
It's too late.
I'm staying home.
It's like 3 or 4 blocks from my house. Well,
Is it?
maybe a little more than that. but
Plus, you know,
It's not far from
it's
my
depressing
house.
to watch. So I don't, you know,
There's not going to be an audience.
making it seem like if Joe came out with any kind of energy at all, it will be a bad thing.
that's why doing it at a watch party is going to be fun, because then you have an audience.
Okay. Let's see.
Well,
If I go, I should sleep this afternoon.
Did you
I got
find
like-
that that blowed up real good? Can you tag
Yeah.
it? Can you tag it with the explosion? Okay.
can you cut off the end where they start talking and stuff? Or no?
What do you mean? I just have
Just
that blowed up. That blowed up real
Yeah,
good.
and
that's all you need.
they kept talking after
Yeah.
that. It was
Oh yeah.
pretty
It was a
quick.
running bit. They blowed up stuff every week.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the show.
If that didn't work, there's probably another cut that says exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
I'm not seeing the event at the Barrymore in my
Oh.
Eva at Madison minutes. Am I
It's,
missing
if
that?
you go to barrymorelive.com,
Oh, I'm not there. No.
30 seconds.
they've got the whole deal there. I've got the promo made for Pod Save America. I need Sam. I'm going to have to ask you to add some music to it after the show. After the show.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Teeth R Us, the world's largest tooth care center. Remember, when you have a bad tooth pulled at Teeth R Us, we'll remove 2 healthy teeth absolutely free. And don't forget to bring the kids along to swim in our heated Olympic-sized 40-foot spit sink.
Sounds
That's where I'm going,
That-
right?
that's- yeah. Why haven't you gone to one of our sponsors?
Well,
Are you gonna bring your adult children along also so they can swim in
Sure.
the spit sink?
yeah. If they ever come to visit me, I'll do that. You know, well,
Sounds
one
like-
of them's in Indiana. You know, he's
There's
got
a little anger tied in with that. We don't want to bring that up. Sore spot for him.
That's
obviously.
okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I got to get some dental work done, but that's
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
You know, you gotta take care of it.
You do.
All right, Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX. It's time for the history books again. Let's
All
get
right.
back into the
Let's
history.
find out what's
Do
going
we need
on.
to reopen the book? Yeah? No?
No,
Okay, it's
no,
already open.
it doesn't.
We open it?
It's not like a phone or a tablet where it shuts itself off. We don't need to keep reopening it.
Okay, good.
Let's
What
see.
happened on this date of June 27th in history?
Today in 1918, the first successful use of a parachute in combat.
Oh no! Yes, that's
It's good to qualify that,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
Wonder how many they tried before it actually was successful.
I don't know. I didn't find a statistic.
I hope they didn't use people to try those
Yeah.
out.
Hey, Bob, come on over here. We want to try something.
That
Here.
didn't work.
Try this put this thing on.
That one didn't
yeah.
work.
Okay. Oops.
Today in 1954, the world's first nuclear power plant goes online at it's a Russian name. I will try and pronounce it Obninsk in Russia, just southwest of Moscow.
All right.
Today in 1972, Atari was founded.
Wow.
You ever play an Atari back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
I never did, no.
No? You didn't? I worked at American TV for about 6 weeks, and we sold Atari. Yeah, well, they just opened up this home computer game thing, and Atari. They had Atari, and then they had Commodore 64. That's all they had. Just those two computers.
That's it?
Yeah. You want to try this one, or you want to try that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
What
It was a
American
very
TV were you at?
The one on the Beltline, the main one.
Okay.
Yeah, Lenny was running around, crazy man. Yeah. You know, Lenny,
Well,
yeah.
you know,
We'd see Lenny all the time, you and I.
oh yeah. Well, I was at the recording sessions with Lenny,
Right.
and we produced a lot of stuff on the warehouse, especially where you dropped stuff from a second story.
You recorded some of his commercials?
Oh, tons of them.
Oh, really?
Well, there was this recording studio, Bella Audio,
Yeah.
right behind Lenny's store.
He was the other voice in the American TV ads.
Yeah.
And I worked with him.
Right.
And so when he was gone, I would fill in for Bob.
Yeah.
And I'd be the other voice
Right.
with TV Lenny.
Right? Yeah, and for years. I mean, Lenny did a lot of radio and a ton of TV.
Yeah.
They also had a TV studio back there, too, Pro Video.
But as an employee,
Yeah.
you got a really good look at the markups
Right.
in the store. Right?
Sure.
Because I would get the employee discount as well.
Did you really?
And furniture was like a third the cost.
Markup on furniture
I
is
did
pretty
furnish
big.
my apartment well
Well, thanks to Lenny.
before I left. Yeah.
Think of how many 10-speed bikes are out there because of Lenny, you know? Remember, he was always giving away bikes.
Right.
You know, buy a couch, get a bike.
Right.
You know, buy a TV, get a bike.
But he had a mean-spirited manager, boy. I didn't like. I can't remember his name, but
Yeah.
he discontinued all the employee discounts.
Did he?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
and that was
Yeah.
it's
quite the
near
operation.
end
Yeah.
of the operation.
Yeah. And then Lenny got into selling e-bikes.
Yep.
And I think he still has that name on that, but he's
Right, he sold the business, but they
Yeah.
kept the name on because he was so popular and everybody knew about it.
We should get Bob Abella in here. I bet he's got tons of stories about Lenny. And maybe
You
he
know, that would be interesting to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get Bob in.
Let's try that. Okay. Make a note. Okay. Where are we in the history books?
We
we
got,
doing
one,
history
got one
book?
more thing here.
Okay.
Today in
Did
1985.
you want to say something else about
Yeah,
that,
you got
Lenny?
something else about
No,
that?
I don't
Okay.
want to talk about TV Lenny enough and all the beta machines that I've gotten from him.
You still have
And high-8 Sony machines as well.
Oh.
Okay.
You just love investing in formats that don't take off, do you?
Well, I'm thinking one of these days I'll get lucky. That never happened.
Keep thinking that. Okay. All right. What else happened on this day?
Today in 85, Route 66 was decertified as a federal highway.
Yeah, isn't that awful?
What?
Yeah.
You ride
Why
on
would-
Route
why would
66
they-
as a kid?
Why would they decertify it?
They put a different route in.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
new
I mean,
road.
the interstates happened,
Yeah, the
and
interstate
it
happened.
cost more to redo the roads in parts to update the standards to like lane width and all of like the roadway
Is
regulations.
that
and
Highway 2? I'm not even sure.
We're getting a couple of notes here from Rocker, who's texting us.
Oh, no, TV Lenny's son plays in Steely Dan.
Right,
I
he's
did not know
a
that.
musician. Yeah, Ty. Yeah,
Oh, Ty?
No, you're right. TV Lenny's son plays in Steely Dan. Sorry.
What's
says
his? What
He
song?
plays vibes. He plays vibes.
Oh, he plays. Oh, I thought he was just saying vibes.
No, it's an instrument.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Did you have one more history item or no?
We got some birthdays if you want to cover those.
Oh, sure.
Helen Keller, born today in 1880.
Okay.
Bob Keeshan, a.k.a. Captain Kangaroo,
Bob Keeshan.
born in 1927.
He was such a nice guy,
He
wasn't he?
was. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
terrific.
Yeah.
And J.J. Abrams, the film director, born in 1956.
You know, Keishan worked well with puppets.
He was it was like Sesame Street before Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more, it was very quiet. It wasn't, over the top crazy or anything. It was just a very calm children's show,
Yeah.
Very nice,
Well,
nice way to
Was he
wake
a
up.
lot like Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, kind of.
It was very close to Mr. Rogers,
Right.
because he did have the puppets, and
Yeah.
green jeans,
Mr. Green Jeans.
real
yeah.
people walking in. every once in a while.
Grandfather Clock.
Grandfather Clock.
Remember Grandfather
What a
Clock?
strange bit that was.
Did
He
Grandfather?
was very sedate.
Well, his eyes moved and his
The
bottom
Grandfather
lip
Clock
would
was
move.
very sedate.
Well, he had a lot of time on his hands. Hello, I'll be here all week. Try to reveal.
Yeah, that
Okay.
worked.
All
I love
right.
that. Hey, could you scroll up? Or
Oh, I'm sorry.
could,
Where's the thing?
Something happened there.
Tommy Mattioli.
Yeah.
He's mentioning.
Is it Tom?
Tom Mattioli.
Okay,
It-
Tom. All right.
You want to go up?
Yeah, right there, right there.
Okay.
Gary Wood, president of the CEO of the Pabst Theater Group, which owns several venues that have hosted presidential town halls in the city, said it's 100% a case of overpromise, overdeliver, and all parts by everybody. There you go.
Okay. What was that?
And that's for the RNC, the
Okay.
convention. There apparently doesn't seem to be a lot of people going to Milwaukee for the convention.
Huh. I wonder why that would be.
So people aren't flocking and renting, or not renting, but
Getting
getting
places
rooms
to stay.
Yeah.
Why would they go to a horrible city like Milwaukee?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I want one of those T-shirts. I definitely want one.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Trump even shows up for that. I mean,
Because I'm a Milwaukeean.
he's threatening maybe not to show up, right?
You're
a
a
Milwaukeean.
Milwaukean.
I'm in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Is there a song like that?
like that? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like walk like an Egyptian but walk like Milwaukeean?
No, it's a culture club.
Oh.
We'll have to find that.
Yeah.
I'm a Milwaukeean?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, I'll try to find it on my
Let's,
list here, and I'll send it to you if I can.
All right.
Wrap it up.
Good enough. All right.
I know. Well, I don't want to overpromise.
Overpromise and underdeliver. That's what we do. It's, you know, that's kind of our motto over the
That is our
years.
motto.
All right.
Well, Gary Witt must listen.
Yeah, tonight's the big debate. You know, everybody's all geared up for it, presidential debate. And, of course, that watch party going on with the Devils and Progressive magazine. That's free at Barrymore Theater. 7 o'clock tonight. They open the doors,
And
8
Todd
o'clock.
and Terry are going to do the coverage prior to the broadcast here on the station.
Yeah, we'll have a broadcast of the debate on civic media. So we'll see who shows up.
What
and,
I
what
would
happens.
like to do
Yeah.
is get into an interesting. This is so over the top. This is Andy Ogles. I'm not sure. Remember, we've had stories about Andy Ogles. He's a representative, a mega representative.
Okay.
And he has proposed the No Juicing Joe bill.
No Juicing Joe.
No Juicing Joe bill. This is in the House, which would require President Biden to divulge, to report to the American people every time he takes a mind-altering stimulant, like he's going to have to do before the debate. He's going to have to do it before the debate? I don't think so. They're going to have him juiced up and jacked up, is what he says. And I'll tell you what, let's play cut 151.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. I wish
By
I
the
were.
way, I have my bill, the no juicing Joe, which would require him to divulge, to report to the American people anytime that he takes a mind-altering stimulant, like we know he's going to have to do before this debate. They're going to have him juiced up and jacked up on some sort of cocktail so that he can be lucid and take on, or at least try to debate Donald Trump.
Congressman Andy Ogles, pride of Tennessee. God bless you, my friend. We'll talk soon.
The pride of Tennessee. You think he was kidding with that? Or maybe not. I think they take pride in that kind of
That's very serious.
intelligence. Yeah. No juicing Joe bill.
It's just crazy. What are they thinking?
You know,
They're gonna ban him from having an orange juice glass up on the podium with him.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, too much coffee? Did he have too much coffee before we went out there for
He's
the debate?
hallucinating.
Wow.
Oh, God.
He has energy. See, no matter what happens.
Right.
So if Biden goes out there and
He's energetic.
and he's energetic,
Yeah.
oh, he's on juice.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing there.
Yeah.
No matter what he does, they have framed it in a way that he can't come out ahead.
Right.
Or at least
In their
with
minds.
the MAGAs.
In their minds.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody else thinks it's ridiculous.
Juicing
they
Joe.
No juice bill. No juice Joe bill.
That is incredible.
That's going nowhere.
Now, the thing is, you've got to remember that if the Republicans, the MAGAs, take control of Congress, the Senate and the House, and then the presidency, these are the kind of bills that we will see ad nauseum.
Every day.
They will have these kind of bills. This is the kind of stuff that they will be focusing on, not the actual serious problems that our society faces as we progress into the 21st century, but they'll be going back to the 19th century to do things the way it used to be done.
You know, is this what the Founding Fathers had in mind when they set up the whole deal way back when? I mean, I don't think so.
I don't think so, yeah.
We're seeing some texts here coming in. You can text us at 608-879-8255. Somebody sent an article, and I guess that's on Yahoo. Lara Trump's RNC is already a total catastrophe. It hasn't even started yet.
Big surprise, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you call a host city a disaster, a horrible place to be. And you try to take it back, and it can't be taken back.
No.
And then they blame, well, you know, it's about crime there. And then somebody's, well, it's really about the election there.
Sure.
And, well, apparently it's everything and all things that makes it a horrible city.
Yeah. There's no turning back from him saying that. That's what he said. Yeah,
and they've got T-shirts.
Tried to tap dance.
They've got the 10 billboards. Right. To remind everybody, but I do want a T-shirt like that because I'm from that horrible city, Milwaukee, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I know you are. What side of the city did you grow up in?
South side mostly. Okay. Yeah, that's where I grew up, and then I decided to live on all sides of town just to kind of get a sample of each.
Yeah.
So every time I moved, I went to a different side of town.
Yeah. Are they a lot different from each other? I mean, they're neighborhoods that are...
Yeah, the neighborhoods are different.
Kind of like Chicago.
Shopping centers are different.
Collection of neighborhoods.
Yeah. Although I like the east side. Yeah. Because they had the coffee shops. That was right when the coffee shops became very popular in the coffee roasting. Personalized coffee roasting took place.
Okay.
It all took place on the east side. East, north, and south side.
It's very cool. I never spent a whole lot of time in Milwaukee, and I've been over to the Brewer games a number of times, over the years. But I don't really know the neighborhoods or where are the bars downtown. Where's the? Don't they have the beer?
Change almost all the time.
The beer drinking district or something. I thought they had a district right downtown, but
they did. I think it's the second district.
Okay,
it's still there. It changes. The brewers down there have changed.
Yeah.
They keep going out of business and in business and out of business and moving to a larger location and not being able to support that location next to, the convention center.
All right. Hey, coming up, Media World, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what have we got going there?
Some stuff going on. Man. We got stuff.
It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show.
Oh, definitely play that then. Play it out of this break.
What's it called?
I'm a Milwaukeean.
All right. Yeah, let's talk about Milwaukee.
Hey, could you also find the gas stove thing?
What number is it again?
That's 83. No gas stoves. Try and find that puppy.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. And play one of the Media World intros. I know it keeps you busy. Maybe we shouldn't do that.
No, do it. Do it.
Do it live.
Do it live. Come on.
We got a whole bunch of stuff from Mike McCabe, I guess.
Yeah. The felonious Trump tariff conversation. In our next hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Oh,
is that a long cut?
Yeah, that's a long cut.
That's long.
From West Alice all the way to Cudahy. Don't you know I ride the bus every day? I'm a man with an addiction to beer and bratwurst and sauerkraut.
Yeah, I'm in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah, nice song. WMDX. Mad Radio, 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. Broadcasting live from State Street, the John and Gordy Family Show.
Beautiful sunshine today. Highs just in the low to mid 70s. It's going to be gorgeous. We're done with the heat and the humidity here, at least for a day. And right now it's 59 degrees. A little cool.
I'd like to thank Sam for finding that cut.
Yeah.
I know. I'm glad to see it's on the internet someplace.
I'm a Milwaukeean.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, they made stuff like that. It was in answer to something from Chicago.
Oh, sure, of course. There's a rivalry there.
There was.
Who was the artist that did that? I'm a Milwaukee.
Guy Herman.
Yeah.
Guy Herman. Okay. It was well done. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
big thumbs up. Okay.
I think of the big radio announcer in Chicago that would always take shots at Milwaukee.
I don't.
And it was a very uncomplimentary song that he did put out. I'll have to try and find that.
Was it what year? What year are we talking about? What year?
Well, I don't know about
70s,
in the 80s.
80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, we'll do a little research on
We
that.
will spitball that for a while.
Workshop it, spitball it, run it around the table. All these things. Run it up the flagpole, see who salutes. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. I don't know.
You got all the language.
I got all
there.
the office
You've been in
speak.
management.
I've been in management. Thankfully, I got out of it, so that's good too.
Really?
Yeah, all those phrases. That's what they say those kind of things when they don't know anything else to say. It's just like they got their phrases in their back pocket. Keep the meeting moving.
Here I have this image of
management,
smart talk behind closed doors.
Sure.
All right. Well, why don't we get into media world?
Let's do that.
Let's check that out.
Back in the day.
There they were, sitting in the studio, wondering what's it all mean.
That's what we do.
The signal's black, there's no coming back. They've got to follow that dream.
It's a dream.
Well, you ought to know it's a media world. You ought to know by now.
You ought to know it.
You're all alone in a media world with John and Gordy going round and round. Yeah.
We're doing media world, but aren't we going to keep up with the AI making some more music?
We probably will. Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere along the way. It was a disaster the last time around.
That was just yesterday.
I'm feeling bad.
Maybe AI was having a bad day.
Some of our listeners know,
Yeah.
and they know.
Yeah.
Oh, they know that I hate Billy Joel more than anything, and we have a text here saying you need a John and Gordy jingle in the style of Billy Joel.
No, I think that's a great idea. Well, let's do it and see how bad it is. Let's do it.
We'll throw it together.
Okay.
Oh, I hate Billy Joel
Start.
so much. All right.
Put the phrases in. Style of Billy Joel.
Okay, let's get into a little bit of media world here.
Okay,
All right.
What's going on?
Here's an interesting debate that's going on about gas stoves on the right and left. And we have Scott Klug, who has a podcast.
Right.
He was on the program here talking about those gas stoves, saying, here you want to ban the gas stoves. And I said, no, we're not banning gas stoves. We just have tighter restrictions on the fumes that gas stoves release into a home.
Okay.
And isn't that a good thing? You don't want to intoxicate everybody in the room.
You don't want to kill everybody. Just come over and have a nice dinner. People start dropping at the dinner table. You know something's wrong. You just invite them over for a nice chicken meal. Suddenly, Uncle Bob's not looking so good and keels over. You don't want that to happen.
No, we don't want to see that happen.
So, there should definitely be some regulation.
Just because you turn the gas stove on.
Yeah. So
you want everybody to die. So let's get to a cut I found in regards to the gas stove controversy. Let's go to that.
All right.
The House this week passed a pair of Republican-backed bills to prevent a nationwide ban on gas stoves. Legislation passed Tuesday would bar the Consumer Product Safety Commission from regulating stoves based on the claim that they are health hazards, while a separate measure passed Wednesday would block an Energy Department rule setting stricter efficiency standards for stovetops and ovens. Although more than 24 Democrats joined Republicans in voting for the measures, some on the left are calling the bills a political stunt, and the White House has insisted since January that a federal ban on gas stoves is not on the table.
The president does not support banning gas stoves, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission, which is independent, is not banning gas stoves. I just want to be very clear on that.
Let's bring back our panel. Kim, so you've dug into this. They say, oh, no ban here, but what's the reality?
So it's a de facto ban, Paul, just to be clear.
No.
What they're doing is this is the first ever regulation of stovetops, and it would impose an annual limit on the amount of natural gas that could be used in gas stoves. What that means is that all the features that actually make natural gas stoves really attractive to people, big burners, simmer burners, cast iron grates, all of those features would be severely limited if they could be used at all.
They're not
and the manufacturers out there are saying that anywhere about up to 96% of existing models will not pass this current rule, and that they'll have to radically redesign to make things that nobody really wants. So effectively, Paul, it's a ban on any kind of stove you might actually want to buy, and you'll be left with a version that's more like today's dishwashers and washing machines that don't really do the job that they're meant to do.
They don't have water in them, remember
This
that.
is the rule book.
Okay, so on the stove, where's
Stop it right there.
Okay.
Stop it right there. We
Yeah.
might get to this
So-
next hour.
Okay, well, so where does this debate stand now? I mean, they're not going to ban gas stoves,
No,
obviously.
they're restricting the amount of pollution that is released by gas stoves.
That's
It doesn't-
all they're doing.
It doesn't change the way they cook. It doesn't change the way the
Grates.
flame cooks
Doesn't
things.
change the look of the stove.
How dumb do they think we are?
Well, that's a great question. We'll have to leave it right there. Coming up, a Trump tariff conversation. Felonious Trump. He's in the news.
He is.
Coming back with more.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
You don't want to kill anybody. Gee.
That was fun. Oh, good. Eat of the mind, man.
Parts of the desk. Yep. Well, no, that's all of it. I had to haul it up the stairs. Yeah.
All right, or two. Huh? Oh yeah. Can we pick up that cut where it left off?
Yeah.
Because it was going into the next person's opinion. I may make a change here.
You got Jim Santel today?
Yeah.
All right. What time is he coming? Coming up.
7:35.
7:35. Okay. All right. Well, they're getting down to the wire on these Supreme Court decisions, aren't they?
They are.
I would just love it if that immunity thing they just say, you know what? No presidential immunity. Surprise.
I think they're going to give him immunity.
They're going to find a way to thread the needle.
I think so.
I don't know. CNN trying to, they're hosting the debate, right? CNN.
Yep.
Why tonight's debate may be the most fateful in U.S. history. Okay. It's all on the line tonight. Ugh.
Oh, we got some stuff here.
Felonious Trump.
I think we've continued media world.
Oh, okay.
I was going to do the felonious Trump thing. It's too. I'm not in the mood for that.
Okay.
That's kind of a serious discussion.
All right.
Let's keep the laughs going here.
All right.
Talking about people dying. We're going to pick up the gas stove thing.
Right.
Look at this. All they do is yabber about something that hasn't happened
The
yet.
countdown, they have the clock in the corner keeps coming up. 12 hours and 17 minminutes.
What are you going to say?
Oh, God. What am I? I got to stay right here. It's coming up in 12 hours.
Yeah.
12 hours, 58 minutes, and 28 seconds.
Look at that.
I know.
All those boxes and the desktop and everything.
It's gonna take all this territory.
It looks like it's going to be fastened to a wall.
Right.
With a straight edge.
Probably right along
here.
there. Probably
And
so.
then it'll come out like this around here.
Yeah.
But how are you going to be situated in that curve that
Well, there's plenty of space.
Well, I don't know, man.
I think they've made it so there can be several guests. That was, I think, the idea. You could have 2 or 3 guests.
But how does it work for video?
Oh, I don't know.
It spreads us out. I mean, there's cameras.
We need more cameras. We need a switcher. Need a camera. What are these people doing? What? Group of ruffians.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, all their backpacks.
I know.
Gotta have the standard backpack. What are they doing? Who are you people?
Yeah, they all got backpacks. What's the deal here? It's insane. What are you doing? Go to hell.
So give them the finger. Fuck you people. What are you doing?
2 minutes.
Oh,
I should go out on the street with the phone. Just, hey, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Let's try that.
I'm going to tell us a little story.
All right. Has Scott lost his nut? Scott Klug.
Is he still doing podcasts with us?
I assume. What's his podcast? The Moderate Middle or something? Lost in the Middle.
All right, lost in the middle. Let's keep this thing going, okay?
Okay. The gas stove thing?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What's Scott's position on this?
Well, Scott, he thinks we're banning gas stoves. He brought it up in a correspondence I had with him, and
Okay.
I was going to spring this on him. I was going to have him back in and play this.
Well, maybe you can play the.
Like the government wants people to transition away from gas stoves eventually.
Yeah.
Because they're dangerous.
The easiest way to do that over a longer period of time is to regulate them out of existence.
That's not true. We're not regulating them out of existence. And I don't know. It's like banning big gulps. You can still get a small gulp.
What are people gonna do? Cook with like a propane camping stove in their kitchen?
That's not good.
Yeah. Well,
I've got a gas stove. Do you have a gas stove?
I had one.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
Do you know what this means?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kick are you on, son?
You know, good bastard, your show sucks.
What made me think this was a good day to stop drinking?
Buddy, you want coffee?
Coffee. Black coffee.
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 They warned us about people like you!
What a load of crap.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
We'll do it live.
And that's the way it is.
Only on Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX. Take it away, boys.
All right, we're talking about gas stoves this morning.
Yeah, Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy.
We're going to solve the controversy over gas stoves.
Okay.
I want to first preface this.
Okay.
My dad worked for Wisconsin Gas Company.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He was a foreman there for
Yeah.
all his life.
Yeah.
And so we had gas stoves in our home.
Yeah.
And can you imagine? That's probably why I think the way I think today.
I would think there was some leakage in
Inhaling
those gas stoves
too much
over
of
the
those
years.
fumes.
Yeah.
And now they're just trying to control how much of those fumes will be
Emitting
exhausted into your own home while you're cooking, all right, or while it's off.
Okay.
Now, it has, self-starters now.
Right.
But it's a regulation. They're not trying to phase out gas stoves. They're just trying to control how much gas is released into the home. That's it.
That's all.
It's not a horrible thing to do. I think a lot of people can agree. Yeah, we don't want pollution in our home as well as outside our home.
Yeah. Safety first.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
That's what happens here. That's the point of all of this. And this is in reaction to a guest we had on the show, is Scott Clue. He has a podcast called Lost in the Middle.
Right here on Civic Media.
Right.
Yeah.
And he thought they were banning him. And I was going to play this cut for him if we ever had him in as a guest.
Well, he's probably,
he might be. I was tired of waiting.
Okay.
Okay. So we heard, that the first guest we heard from here in this cut I have said that it's a way to phase it out and all that kind of stuff. Now we've got another reaction to it, so let's go on with this track that I brought in, and the other side of it. Let's listen.
Effectively, Paul, it's a ban on any kind of stove you might actually want to buy, and you'll be left with a version that's more like today's dishwashers and washing machines that don't really do the job that they're meant to do.
Yeah, Kyle, this is the rule by regulation, right?
Right, and you pretend you're not doing it right up until about 5 seconds before you do it. I mean, this is a national ban on gas stoves is not on the table. It's under the table, ready to be pulled out at any moment. I think you also have to look for the real motivations here at states that are doing similar things, that are stopping gas hookups.
New York State, yeah.
Right, in new residential buildings. And so I think the people who say that there's not a movement against natural gas, which, remember, a lot of people use not only for cooking, but to heat their homes, to heat their water, for their washers and dryers. I think the idea that there is not a progressive movement against that has a real credibility problem.
Dan, any chance that these Republican bills, which got so many Democratic votes in the House, could have a chance in the Senate?
The climate left is just sort of determined to get to their goals, and they're going to do it any way they can, and that includes things like a de facto ban on gas stoves, and one wonders whether backyard grills are going to be next.
Oh, sure.
Backyard grills.
Oh,
no.
Oh, wow.
After those.
LP. I'm just, it is surreal to listen to these people talk, about the environmental radical left. Of course,
controlling.
If you look at a map of the nation and the weather and the heat waves and the power outages and the disasters and the flooding and the rain, we don't have a problem. A climate problem
change
at all.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's all.
And who cares?
Sort itself
Who cares
out.
what people have in their home, whether they are dying from exhaust from their gas stoves or not? It doesn't matter. And the thing is, the guy actually, made the argument for gas, and that is it heats or hot water usually. I mean, they do have electric water heaters now, which are really, really cool. On-demand water heaters, which I want to get next.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those.
They're pretty cool. I saw one of them. They're very small.
Yeah, they're very small.
The size of backpack. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of neat.
It is.
So I hope to get one of those eventually and get rid of gas completely. Yes, I want to ban gas.
Well, wait a minute. Now, which side are you on? You're tap dancing all around this.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever seen like a thermal camera side by side of like a gas stove versus an electric stove?
No.
Well, gas stoves are like wicked inefficient because like you got this burner underneath like your pot or pan, right?
Okay.
And all of the heat just like kind of goes around it. I mean, some of it like hits the bottom of the pan, obviously, but a lot of it just goes around it because it's hot air moving around whatever you're cooking with. If you're cooking on like a glass top stove, a lot more of it goes to the pan, or if you're cooking with like an induction cooker, all of it goes into the metal of whatever you're cooking.
Yeah, induction cooking is the way to go.
Is that what you have?
No, I don't have that. We just have a regular electric. Glass top. But the inductive is the way to go in the home. You don't want to do that in a restaurant.
No.
They do want gas stoves in restaurants because that's where they have to have them.
Yeah.
So they're not
That's
banning
what the chefs like, right?
That has to happen there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a commercial exemption for gas stoves.
If Chef Johnny is fine without his home gas stove, you can be as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad we didn't get the gas stove now because of the pollution. Possible pollution.
You'll have to come over to my place, the place I
You
just
have a
went.
gas stove
I have a
now.
gas stove.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning how to use it a little bit. The only problem
Turn
with
it on, Gordy.
well, it's fine. That part I don't have any problem with. That part is fine. I have trouble with it's like an early digital timer thing. Early digital, I got to spin the wheel and then put the time in, then I got to push the button, and I've yet to figure this out. I've tried everything I can figure out to just set the timer, and it says set timer 1. There's set timer 2. I only want one timer. I don't need set timer 2. It doesn't make any logical sense at all. I'm going to have to get on YouTube and look at a tutorial for this model stove just to learn how to run the timer. It's crazy.
Just get a $20 or $25 Alexa device.
Really?
You just say, Alexa, set the timer for 20 minutes.
Really? Should I do
that?
that?
And it goes off and it alarms you at that 20-minute mark. And you don't need the timers that they have on stoves anymore. Just don't need it.
Just get an Alexa. You recommend Alexa rather than what's the other one?
Just for that.
Just for that?
Yeah.
Okay. $25, you're saying?
Well, yeah, they're really inexpensive.
You're just a shill for Amazon, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay.
It's so easy.
That's fine.
I
that's fine. That's a good solution.
I had-
Rather than
I
mess
messed
around with this thing, I can't figure it out at all.
Yeah, I used to have a under-the-counter timer.
All right. Which was very loud, and that's why I bought it.
Now,
But now I just use the Alexa.
now the other thing I'm having trouble with in this house, again, I'm just,
you're
I'm
getting
just
used
moved
to
in,
it. Yeah.
is there's a digital thermostat
Oh,
that takes programming to schedule, when the air
Yes.
conditioning's on,
Yeah.
when it's off. I still have yet to figure that out. I've got to get Sam, why don't you come over to the house? You can instruct me. Yes, it's just like that. It's exactly like that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the manual, it's like I have no idea how to run the
I've
thing.
got a smart screen on my thermostat now. It's
Yeah.
a touch screen, and it's really nice. It actually works together with the AC
Okay.
and the furnace,
All right.
and it controls the humidity. It doesn't turn the cooling on. It just dehumidifies the air in the house in order to adjust the temperature there. And it's really smart, and it saves a hell of a lot of energy.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a smart one, and I can control it right from here in the studio.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's
On
right.
your watch?
Yeah.
On your watch?
Not my watch.
Come on, your space age watch, your Jetsons watch won't do that for you?
No, it
Come
won't.
on, it does everything.
It does.
It cooks, it cleans, it's a
No,
dessert
it doesn't.
topping, it's a floor cleaner.
It's a floor
You can do
cleaner.
anything.
It's a floor wax.
Ed's got those watches on sale right now, I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you can. I can do anything I want with this damn app that I have for my thermostat at home.
That's
I can control it from anywhere in the world.
Well, you can come over and help me with my thermostat.
Well, I think if
Or
it's
you'd rather
similar
have
to the
Sam
one here.
You know
Sam
what? You're
knows
right.
this.
I don't want you coming over to my house. Sam, come over to my place.
That's right. I'm
'Cause you're-
completely banned from your house now because I can't.
Well, you're Mr. Know-it-all. You come over.
Thermostat.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Manual. Well, how else am I going to figure it out? You got to have a manual for
no,
everything,
really,
right?
seriously. You really
I'm
have
sure
to get just
YouTube's
a
got it.
cheap Alexa device
Okay.
right next,
That's
right
fine.
in the kitchen. And just
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting one anyway.
Yeah,
Just
good.
to
Okay.
talk to somebody. They're all
Have a
alone. I don't have a
conversation
dog
with it.
yet. I might as well get an Alexa. At least it'll talk back to me.
Well, you know, remember in New York,
Yeah?
they're giving away robotic dogs for companionship.
For older people?
Yes, yes.
They should have a
For
thing like
seniors.
that in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I need a robotic dog.
Well, you got such a small yard now.
Well,
that,
that's the
you know,
problem.
it's all
The backyard.
cement.
It is. They paved over the backyard. It had a little backyard, but now there's just a little patch of grass. It's seriously, it's only the size of a
Cement is so
doormat.
much easier to maintain.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't need as much weed killer.
But now I need some patio furniture with some. There's no shade back there because they paved
That's
over
true.
everything. So there's a big apartment building right next door, so that kind of blocks out the sun. But it's not.
But
where
they
I
can
need
watch you. They can watch everything you're doing back there.
They
So
can.
that hot tub that you were thinking about,
I was thinking
not
about
going
that.
to work.
They even make hot tubs anymore.
Yes, they do. Yeah, that is go
Okay.
out there in your swimsuit.
Yeah, that's that would I yes.
They do.
Yeah.
They make portable ones, inflatable
Portable.
ones.
I don't want a hot tub. Why would I?
No, it's a really cool one. They have really cool ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to get one?
Well, no, we were thinking
Okay.
about it. Put
Were
it in
you
the
really?
basement. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, we're not going to get it.
Just think okay.
It's too expensive. We
Well, it's
can't
too
handle it at this
expensive.
point.
You know, I don't know. How
I
do we
don't
get a
know.
lot of use out of those? I don't. Doesn't seem like.
And we've got a special guest coming up.
Yes, we do. Jim Santel is coming in, and we're going to talk. You know, all these Supreme Court cases. They're
Big-
ready to make big decisions.
I've been chomping at. It's hard for me to hold back. I
I
want
know.
to talk about these cases that came out. There's like 3 of them.
and there's a bunch more to come.
One that slipped out accidentally.
Yes.
Then there's another one that slipped out accidentally
Really?
from the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Oh boy! All right. Well,
We'll have Jim, and we'll be talking about all of those cases here on the program
Yeah.
in the next half hour.
that's right. And also coming up, Brittany Merlot with an update on what's expected weather-wise for today and looking ahead into the weekend. It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show for a Thursday morning right here on 92.7 WMDX.
This guy has an instant electric water heater.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
Yeah. Oh, Tom. Okay.
Hey, newbie.
Yeah. We.
Oh.
Oh, 1,
We got a little
2, 3.
bounce back
Oh,
echo.
I'm echoing. I am echoing. Somebody's got a speaker on.
Is that Brittany? Brittany, do you have
I don't know.
an external speaker or something?
No.
What's going on? Maybe it's coming through the board.
Is there a setting on the streaming?
Is it just when I joined?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shoot. I don't know. Settings?
If it is bad.
We're gonna take the phone call first. Phone first, or
Yeah.
Brittany? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Mad Radio, WMDX 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. Broadcasting live from State Street, Madison.
Sunshine today.
Gordy Show.
Yeah. Highs today in the low to mid 70s. We got Brittany Merlot standing by, but first let's go to the phones on the John Gordy hotline.
Tommy's got an electric water heater. Tom,
Yeah.
you got to fill us in on this thing, okay?
Yeah. Tell us. Yeah.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. Well, that's not good. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Now, Tom, you mentioned that it costs about $2,000. Now, I've done a little research on this. I was looking into it for my home, and they have different levels of water heaters, and there are some that have a warranty for a year or 3 years or something real small, and others have limited lifetime warranties, and those do cost about $2,000. But I would assume that they last and don't go as quickly as the one that you had at work. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the kind of water heater, electric on-demand water heater that you had. The question I had is, do you know if it was exhausted? It needed an exhaust, or was it exhaust free? Yeah.
It was like.
Okay. All right. All right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, the promise with solar and wind is that it should bring down the energy costs dramatically. But right now we're paying for that infrastructure, so the cost.
And it has incredible storage power. The Uproar will allow you to store up to 64 megabytes, or just over an hour of music.
Wow.
Even if someone wants to call you while you're listening to music, they can. A remote lets you pause the music, take your call, and pick up right where you left off. In addition to the music, the wireless phone allows wireless access to the web. and serve as a personal organizer.
Most of the new exciting things that are being available, particularly over the Christmas season, are a little more on the tech side. And I think people are crossing over that boundary and getting rid of some of those fears just so that they can enjoy what the rest of the world's got.
Yeah.
The new Uproar 4-in-1 phone will be available in stores next Monday. It will retail for $399.
What a deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
For an MP3 player.
Yeah. And you can pause it and pick up a phone call. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah. Store up to an hour of music.
I know. It's
That's
amazing,
incredible.
isn't it? 64 megs.
Yeah.
Wow.
What year do you suppose that was? How many?
That was 2000.
That was?
Yeah.
24 years ago. Okay.
It's amazing. Now, we've got, what 128 gigabytes?
I don't know. It just seems
All right.
incredible.
Anyway, that kind of filled in, and we have a problem connecting with
Brittany.
Merlot.
StreamYard seems to be acting weird on our end today.
Oh, okay.
Ever since you touched that camera, John,
Yeah,
it
John.
hasn't been acting right.
It's not me.
Don't mess with the
It's not
cameras.
Me, I didn't do this. Don't
I
blame
think you
me.
did. It was working fine before.
Okay, let's try another Media World story here, everybody.
Okay.
Before we get to Jim Santel, and we're going to talk about the Supreme Court cases. Oh,
Hold it. Time out. Brittany, we've got you reconnected, finally.
Yay!
say whatever you're going to say really quick.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes here. Give us the weather.
It's just
Tell
gonna be
us what's
sunny
happening. It's
and
beautiful
nice.
today, right?
Beautiful, beautiful day. That's really all I have to say. It's mid
Okay, thanks. Thanks for joining us, Brittany. Have a
I
great
finally
day.
have good news, and you won't even let me on. No, just kidding.
Yeah, so what is happening here weather-wise? Got
Honestly-
rain maybe Friday?
Yeah, we could see some rain moving in by Friday morning for us. And then, of course, that could come back again Friday night. I do think a good chunk of Friday afternoon is going to be dry, which is some scattered showers out there. So nothing too crazy, no severe weather expected. Just about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of rain, which our rivers don't need. That's
Right.
the only big downfall. That's it. But otherwise, the
All right.
weekend's dry and gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the
Perfect.
temperatures on the weekend? What are we thinking?
Dry weather, or is it going, low humidity?
Yeah.
You know what? Yes. We're going to hit about 80 degrees on Saturday. And then for Sunday, we're looking at those low to mid 70s. So quite cool on Sunday.
Fantastic. All right.
right.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you,
for
Brittany.
the good news and hanging in there.
You're
Little
welcome.
technical
Glad
problem.
we got
here
our
and there.
technical glitches taken care of. Thank you, Brittany. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good day.
Great day.
Yeah,
All right.
Technical glitches during Media World.
I know.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, we got Jim Santel. We're going to talk about those Supreme Court decisions that are pending. It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show on WMDX.
As we were saying, it's the John and Gordy Show.
John and Gordy in the morning.
As we were saying,
Let the sun shine.
it's the John and Gordy Show.
Well, you get what you pay for.
Hey, Jim.
You know, you get a good
Hey,
look.
Jim.
Sam and John and Gordy, how are you this morning?
Real good.
Doing well, Jim.
Real good.
How are you?
Good. I'm
Are you
doing well.
Are you updated on all the weird stuff that's going on? Like,
You know, I only traffic in the weird stuff. So that's all I'm doing. I focus on weird. The normal stuff, who cares, right?
yeah.
How in the world is it that stuff leaks out from the Supreme Court anyway? Is it the interns that are running around there?
Maybe it's the 21-year-olds, with all due respect. But I think in this particular case, I think this was somebody who just pressed the wrong button at a time when they're managing way too many cases and had to get something. This one I think is different from the Alito. I call it the Alito release on the Dobbs opinion.
Yeah,
and probably
okay.
different from the Wisconsin Supreme Court also has had this release as well about another that other order there. So
Good.
those I think are intentional. This one yesterday I think was somebody again, too much
hit the
on
wrong
your
button.
plate and presses the wrong button.
Okay. Well, hold on to those thoughts. How much time until we're coming out, Sam?
We've got
3 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Anything else you want to preview, John?
Well,
that you want to talk
we're going to
about
get
with Jim?
to. We're going to get to. I think we can maybe agree to start with the gratuity.
Yes, right.
The illegal bribery that they have agreed to.
What? Okay,
Right.
save this because I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's go to
so
that
I want to
one.
find out.
Right.
And
All
then
right.
the no-brainer, the media companies,
right,
banning lies. How? I mean, can you imagine? If the Supreme Court said, "Yeah, you can't ask them to keep all the lies off the internet," and just we wouldn't have a society anymore.
Absolutely. It is. We are making decisions about the sun rising in the east these days, right?
Yeah,
and declaring them with great affirmation, right? Again, more the weird stuff, right?
Yeah, that it is just, and it's it's not. It's a good thing that they allowed the White House to do this stuff. The right wing, of course, the thing with Sam Alito is that when he makes a comment in his opinions, it's very, very political. It is very right wing. This is not legal stuff. And that's one of the emphasis. I want to actually point that out during our discussion, Jim. Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
and other big takeaway, of course, is about 90 minutes or so. They got about a dozen more cases to release this morning and tomorrow. I'm not a Supreme Court watcher, that kind of thing, but this is almost unprecedented in terms of the great numbers of things they're stockpiling to dump on us right before we go and cook burgers and bratwurst on our grills, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's a nasty little plan to do it this way.
Right. And again, they're big ticket items too, which I can tick off very quickly. I know we can't talk about all of them, but
yes,
you've got Trump, you've got federal agencies, social media, abortion, bankruptcy, homelessness, and pollution.
Yeah.
And that's 12 of them right there.
When you say Trump, are you talking the immunity case?
But that and one other. There are two Trump cases. Yeah, the immunity case, and there's also this statutory case about whether or not about 300 people who were charged for the riot on. And that could have an applicability to the Trump prosecution.
Okay.
And again, they're all big ticket items, and just hang on today and tomorrow. I assume will tell us all, and some of them will necessarily get lost in the midst of all this, right?
Okay. We're coming up in about 30 seconds.
Jim, is there a way that maybe you can be on tomorrow a little after 7, because we have our music guest in at 7:35? But if there's some good cases, boy, I'd love to have you on if you can do that.
So, right, and we can. I'll talk to Sam about that. I'm supposed to be on our partner Pat Kreitlow's show tomorrow morning about this.
Coming in real quick here. You guys can discuss it later.
All right, good.
From the Civic Media Mothership, it's the John and Gordy Show.
That's it. It is the family show, and a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning, and so many things to talk about this morning. Still,
all over.
The Supreme Court has been releasing a whole bunch of decisions that are so controversial and so ridiculous, and in many ways temporary.
Well, it's crunch time. They got to get all these decisions out before they take a break, right?
But they're making decisions that allow for somebody else to bring another case and maybe even reverse some of the decisions that we're actually getting today. And we've got Jim Santel on the line right now. He hosts Amicus, a law review on the weekend on Saturday morning. Jim, let's get into the first thing here, and that is the Supreme Court allowing a gratuity, a legal bribery after the fact. This is one of the most amazing decisions ever.
It is curious. It is what we call a head scratcher, right?
Right.
Here's the only maybe non-serious part of this is that the statute under which this is James Snyder. He's the former mayor of a place called Portage, Indiana. We drive right through it, and we're on the expressway there in northern Indiana. He is allegedly and was convicted for accepting a $13,000 check in return for some municipal trash truck contracts. And He's charged under 18 USC. Yes, that's right. 666. That's the number of the statute. Again, it gets more serious after that.
Okay.
He is convicted of this under this statute, which is used generally. I used it. And for what it's worth, the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, this comes from our circuit, 3-judge panel there looks at this and says, yes, no problem. This is plainly a bribe under the statute, violated the law. We were affirming the judgment below. Comes up to the Supreme Court, and then you've got Brett Kavanaugh, 6-3 majority, saying, well, it prescribes bribes to state and local officials. Doesn't make it a crime, he tells us, for those officials to accept gratuities for their past acts. Exactly what you just said. And, how do you make that distinction? Yeah. I think prosecutors around the country right now are wondering how you make that. But again, it's now the law of the land. So when it comes to this often used statute, we now have to figure out what the difference is between a gratuity after the fact and a bribe before the fact.
Before the fact.
Oh boy,
that is so crazy. And the fact that this mayor was in debt, he was going bankrupt, and he needed some money quick, and he went to this dealer and got this $13,000 check to bail him out a little, essentially, because he had done them favors to get their dealership accepted into the city. So he got this check, and for Alito to come up with this incredibly weird interpretation that if it's after the fact, it's not bribery, is just stunning. I don't, you've really got to have some mental agility to be able to come up with something this crazy, right?
Right. And the two of you are articulating exactly what 3 dissenters said, which is, of course, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Elena Kagan, and Sonia Sotomayor, not only scratching their heads, but saying the majority has got this just plain wrong. And basically, it's a big, what are we doing here? And again, it's much more articulate than that. But that's the takeaway from this case. Snyder versus United States, again, comes out of the Seventh Circuit, one of only 2 cases coming out of our circuit. And they reversed the Seventh Circuit, which traditionally has been pretty good on these kinds of things. And again, the big takeaway is you've got a lower court judgment based upon the facts. You've got an appellate court that looked at all this and said, no problem here. Our Supremes then put a whole new gloss on this often used statute that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I have this comment from MSNBC in regards to this. Let's listen real quick to that.
This one's cartoonish, I gotta say.
Yeah, so according to Brett Kavanaugh and the Conservative, it's only bribery if it comes from the Bribery region of France, right? Everything else is just sparkling corruption, according to these people. But when you bring out not just this case, but all of the cases that the court has done over Roberts' tenure to weaken public corruption laws, I like to think of it, like a gang. And like for the initiate, the new initiate, he also has to steal a purse, right? If you have a corrupt cops, they take the money and then everybody has to share
implicated.
So everybody's implicated. So there's no accountability for everybody. So everybody has their hands dirty. And that's what the Supreme Court is trying to do. They're trying to make it seem like everything in politics is dirty. Everybody is dirty.
It's just everybody politics.
Yeah. And the thing is, of course, our justices are getting payments as well. They're getting gifts like crazy. And this kind of justifies their gift getting, right?
Right.
This okays it.
Right. It takes it's the same kind of thing generally, obviously different focuses in different locations here, but it does make you wonder, what is the motivation to do this? Is there something beyond just the interpretation of the statute that compels this very peculiar result? And again, changes the way that we will prosecute cases in the United States of America. It's no small case, Snyder, and again, it falls under the radar because of all these other cases. That's a big deal. And the Supreme Court has just kicked in the shins the prosecutors around the country.
It's just an amazing decision.
So what are some of the other cases that are pending here? Let's
we're going to get into
the next one.
We're moving into the next one here. The Supreme Court allows the White House to press social media companies to remove disinformation. Now, this is like a no-brainer thing, right? You know, the FBI may continue to urge social media platforms to take down content the government views as misinformation, handing the Biden administration a big, successful story. But here, Alito and Clarence Thomas and Gorsuch wrote in dissent, the court thus permits the successful campaign of coercion in this case to stand as an attractive model for future officials who want to control what people say, hear, and think, and that's regrettable. It was a blatantly unconstitutional, and the country may come to regret this court's decision. The thing is, it's not coercion. It is suggestion to these companies who also have their own rules and regulations about content that they can't go on and just lie and make up stories and post this stuff. I mean, that's part of their company administrative rules. So we have, obviously, these guys think it's coercion and it's going to be censorship and they're going to stop people from saying anything. Can you imagine a media that is allowed to lie just blatantly without any consequences whatsoever? Right, Jim?
Right. And you've got it just right. Once again, you've got a group of dissenters who are actually intellectually dishonest about this. This is not coercion on the facts. There's no threat going on here. There's another case called Vulo in which there were some threats being made, and the Supreme Court said, yeah, that government can't do. Here you've got the Biden administration calling up and saying, you know, that stuff you've got online about how horse poison will cure COVID-19, and oh, by the way, the 2020 election was stolen. Those things are not only misinformation, they're inaccurate, they're contrary to the health concerns of our group, our communities generally. And interestingly, during the course of the oral argument on this one, both the Chief Justice and Brett Kavanaugh, who are, again, not in the dissenting group, said, what are we talking about here? When we were in the White House, we did this all the time. We picked up the phone and said, gee, we're looking at an editorial that doesn't make sense to us. Time immemorial, a government has done this call and say, you know what? I think you need to rethink this, not to say you're coercing them, as the dissenters say, but just you're calling out situations where the information is inaccurate, overtly so, and nothing wrong with that at all. Thankfully, the majority gets it right in this case called Murphy versus Missouri. But again, to our previous point, what are we talking about here? This is a big case in front of the Supreme Court because we're reaffirming the right of government to engage, again, not coercively, with journalists and social media providers. That's what our system is all about. We talk to each other. We object to things that we say. That's what America is all about. And somehow we had to have the imprimatur of the Supreme Court to say, yeah, you can continue to do that in this major case just decided yesterday.
Right. And it's actually controlling, moderating content on all of these social platforms. That's what it's all about. And the Supreme Court, at least the dissenters, would definitely have said, hey, yeah, you can do that. What the heck? You know, we don't want to stifle any kind of free speech at all.
Right. And you know, that's the other piece of this. You've got, these are private companies, plainly, the social media providers. They do, I may come as a surprise, not to your listeners, but to other people, maybe the dissenters. They do content moderation all the time. And I know that sounds kind of Orwellian, but the reality is you've got people inside these companies that are looking at postings and saying, you know what, this is racist, this is misogynistic, this is inappropriate in so many different ways. We need to take it down. And oh, by the way, here's a set of things that are affirmatively wrong, that are going to hurt people if they believe it. Content moderation inside these groups happens all the time. This is not an unusual thing. Again, government calling it to the attention of those folks is most appropriate and actually protects us and makes us better.
We're talking with Jim Santel, attorney, and I want to ask about these leaks out of the Supreme Court. There was one out of the Wisconsin Supreme Court and also one out of the U.S. Supreme Court. What was the leak from the Supremes?
The federal court.
Right.
The federal court, the Supreme Court.
And that was the Federal Emergency Medical Care Statute, right?
This is a big one that may be officially released today in about an hour or so, or maybe tomorrow, we don't know. But this is the other big abortion case. And it has to do with whether or not federal law or state law applies. Idaho's got a law that says no abortions, basically no abortions in our state. A federal law that says to stabilize the health of the mother. It is not only permissible, but required for clinics and medical providers to do this. So there's a conflict between these two things. They have a supremacy clause that basically says the federal stuff supersedes the state. And there was some real dispute during the course of the oral argument. So what happened yesterday was, in the midst of these other two being announced, my view is somebody in the clerk's office there pressed the wrong button and released this thing early. It appears to be the real case, and we'll see it when it does come out. And the good news here, I suppose, is that it appears to be 6-3 opinion, finding that indeed the federal law does apply, and that indeed you can provide life-saving, life-sustaining abortions around the country, including in Idaho. So the result may be good. We've got a glitch here. I don't put this in the same category as the what I'll call the Alito document draft release a couple of years ago, or this other thing that just happened in our own state Supreme Court, also having to do with its taking a case in the voting area. Those both indicate to me that there was somebody doing something intentionally and purposefully, and doing this in a way to get some information out there. With respect to our state Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, Ed Ziegler, has said, we're doing an investigation. We're trying to figure out how this happened. And it's no small matter. It should be this focus of inquiry there. It should have been the focus of better inquiry a couple of years ago. You may recall that the Chief Justice then, when the Dobbs decision was leaked early, what he did, he said, I'm going to go to the U.S. Marshals. They are terrific. They're wonderful. They do many things. This is not their area of expertise. Who does this? The FBI does this. And why he didn't call them in and say, listen, I need to find out among the 60 people or so here, including members of our own court, who did this. And instead, he basically said, we can't find out who produced this. This was discoverable. You could have investigated this properly. We could have found out exactly who did this. Limited number of people, limited event. I think the Chief Justice didn't want to have confirmation of who did this, especially since it may have been one of his own colleagues on the bench. And to this day, I think the fact that we just threw up our hands and said, we can't figure this out. No, the FBI is very good. They could have figured out exactly how this document got in the hands of Politico long before it was released formally.
Well, yeah, getting back to that federal emergency medical care statute, it says it ensures that a woman with no health risks of her own can demand emergency room treatment if her fetus is in peril. And I think what the conservative justices are saying is, well, that allows for no abortions. I think that's what they're saying here. Alito said this: at no point in its elaboration of the screening, stabilization, and transfer requirements in EMTALA, that's what they shorten it with, mention abortion. Just the opposite is true. EMTALA requires a hospital at every stage to protect an unborn child from harm. There is no mention of unborn child in this statute, as far as I know.
Once again, it is, I think, for most people, a linguistic stretch, if you will, trying to read something into it or maybe out of the statute that just isn't supported by the language there. Thankfully, once again, it appears that 6 members of our court decided to do just that, give it a normal reading, and we'll probably get a decent decision when that is officially announced, maybe in a couple of minutes there.
Right.
Jim, can you stay with us for a few more minutes?
Absolutely.
All right, 7:49. We'll be back with more with attorney Jim Santel on the John and Gordy Show. All right.
I want to get into that in this emergency room thing because I've got a quote from Justice Kagan on this. And also, abortion rights advocates have a point of view on it as well. So,
right.
Because they think it's a way to get fetal personhood.
Mm-hmm. Right. It definitely, I mean, that is the focus of all this, to get back either to Congress or the Supreme Court and basically establish that life begins at conception, which has been the ultimate goal here. This is another step in that direction. It just is not supported by the language here. And again, but for the technological glitch here, which again, not to look humorously at all this, you have to believe that John Roberts is melting down these days. And when this happened yesterday, he's got to say, what else do I have to deal with you people?
15 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we're coming out in about 10 seconds.
We're talking law this morning.
Where's Perry Mason when we need him?
Yeah, Jim Centel is on the line with us. Amicus Law Review on
Even
Saturday
better.
mornings,
Yeah.
giving a little bit of this legalese some context. And I just want to get back to the emergency room statute again. In this decision, Justice Kagan wrote for the majority saying it does not displace the hospital's duty to a woman whose life or health is in jeopardy. It doesn't do away with that. And a person who needs an abortion to stabilize her condition is one of the issues at large here. I mean, this is what it's dealing with. The abortion rights advocates worry that the conservative Supreme Court would like to read into this as fetal personhood and establish that once and for all. And if they put that in here, a lot of cases, IVF will be another issue that will come before the court, I'm sure, very soon.
Right. And again, that would be an incredible stretch here. Again, if the what appears to be the dissent here gets its way at some point, and this is a part of a larger initiative. Regrettably, even inside our Supreme Court, the focus is one day to establish that life begins at conception, and that's basically what they're arguing for in the course of their of the dissenters' view here, and the others who are supporting that particular petition. So thankfully, once again, you've got a majority here that looks at the language, looks at the intent of the law, and says, no, those concepts are not here. This is about stabilizing. It is about ensuring the health, the welfare of the mother, and requiring, once again, that entities that are taking Medicare, Medicaid, those kinds of things, do in fact provide life-supporting care for mothers. That's what this statute is about. I don't want to say it's nothing more than that, but that's a big deal. But it's important for the court to focus on what it is and what it is not. And that's apparently what the decision we're going to get.
All right. Well, we want to kind of find out what might be coming up on the docket here that will be as controversial as the issues we've just talked about this morning.
Yeah, what about the presidential immunity case?
Right.
I mean, are there any hints at all that this is going to be decided one way or the other? Are they going to, or can they just kick the can down the road?
Right. Yep. Right. So they've got two cases. The big one is the immunity case. Donald Trump coming in saying, for presidents of the United States of America, both in office and presumably out of office as well, complete immunity. It's fairly clear from the oral argument that Supreme Court, for them, that's a bridge too far. They're not going to do that. But what was scary, as we talked before on your wonderful show, what is scary about the oral argument is you had people like the Chief Justice and Amy Coney Barrett entertaining the idea that maybe there's some middle ground here. There are things that a president might do in his or her personal capacity that might in fact be subject to criminal prosecution. But if you do official things, those would not be touched. And that is a notion that is, again, indefinable, as the Solicitor General said when he was responding to this. He said, this is an integrated conspiracy. You're engaging in official acts to accomplish an illegal personal end here. That's what these charges are all about. The concern is that maybe the Supreme Court's going to try to cut this in half and say, well, there may be some circumstances, stunningly, when a chief executive can get away with crimes here. And we're going to send this back to Tanya Chutkan for her to decide which is which. I think the jurist right now who's the most fear in America is Tanya Chutkan, who, if she receives this order, has got this task on her desk then to do this impossible task. And will also muddy the waters, right? All they need to do is unanimously say, you know what? In two sentences, there's no such thing as immunity. The Court of Appeals got it right. Tanya Chutkan got it right. This is about the rule of law. No one is above the law, including the president. Goodbye. We're done. They could get this done in two sentences. And the fact that they're not doing it should be a source of great concern for all Americans.
Boy, that's so true.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Well, I don't know. I'm just you mentioned that it muddies the water. It creates uncertainty in the legal community for almost everything at this point. And then it'll end up in court again, and a president will do something crazy or supposedly illegal or unconstitutional, and then it'll have to go through the court system again, and you never know what they're going to make a judgment on.
Right.
And how they'll exempt it.
Whatever they do, this will be precedential. This will be not presidential, right? And again, down the road, even for legitimate acts of presidents, you're going to get attacked for it. And the argument is going to be before district courts, appellate courts. Well, this falls on this line or that line of the Trump case. And instead of being clear about the fact that you can't be in the presidency and commit crimes, it does not only do that, but at the risk of sounding hyperbolic here on a beautiful Thursday morning here, the other issue is it really does sort of open up the possibility. I know people talk about this over the top, but of this is the beginning of the end of the republic, right? Because you've got checks and balances on our branches. Here, you're basically saying, James Madison, you were wrong. The president can do virtually anything, and nobody can stop him or her from doing that. That is a complete refutation of all that we stand for 240 years. That's a discarding of a significant portion of our Constitution, Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, balances, checks and balances. And this is the reason why it's a very scary case, depending upon what the Supreme Court may do. Again, later this morning, tomorrow, sometime very soon, for the future of our nation. It's just that important.
One of the things that keeps coming up in the dissent, or at least on the liberal side, is that a lot of these decisions are temporary. They're open-ended because, they always determine that somebody doesn't have standing in order to bring this argument, which opens that case up for another challenge somewhere down the line, right?
Absolutely. So we talked about the mifepristone case, which was the other abortion case that the Supreme Court, there they decided, again, basically not to decide. They punted, as the three of us have discussed previously and your listeners engaged in as well. There they said, you know what, after all this, we've got the wrong plaintiffs here. And they're probably right about that. But it does open up, and they send some signals that, it may well be that if you get the right plaintiffs in this case, bring mifepristone back, we'll then take a look at the merits of it. Right now, mifepristone is legal. The FDA's decisions on this for a quarter century have been upheld. But the temporary nature of this just invites more litigation. May not happen in the next term, but could be the term after that. And again, it invites the sense of lack of clarity, not only for the legal people, but also for the medical community out there, right? In every state, doctors and medical providers can in fact use this drug and another to accomplish abortion safely, but it exposes them to the possibility that may not be the case in the future.
All right,
Jim Santel, we are out of time, but if something breaks between now and tomorrow, we want to have you back tomorrow.
If you can break away 20 after, whatever, just pick a time, and we'd love to talk with you about those cases as well.
John and Gordy,
Thank
so
you,
good
Jim.
to be with you once again, as always.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you for being here.
We are out of time. Have a great day. So long.
Remember how it ended? Yeah, everything at the end blowed up. Blowed up good. Blowed up real good. Yeah.
All right, Jim.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah, Jim, that was great.
And
We
I'll be
appreciate it.
back in touch with Sam. I'll be in touch with you again. I'm doing Pat Kreitlow's show, I think at like 7:06.